But it's all good, man. It's all good. Easter's on Sunday. Today's Good Friday. It's it's a good day.
It is a good Friday. It's always a good day in the neighborhood. It's always a great day on the Sean Brown Show with JP right here on WQTS. We hope everybody's had a great week. I know some of you guys probably missed us, and I left my phone all the way on the other side of the studio, so I have to go get that in a second
Good
so I
job,
can share
buddy.
the video.
Good
But
job.
it's been a long week. We got a lot of things going on, a lot of things in the making. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned as we are quickly approaching the 1 year anniversary of us being on the air. We're going to do some big things for that next month. So you're going to want to stay tuned, and we're going to have hopefully some major announcements here soon.
You got a packed house today, sir.
Yeah, we'll have some big time major announcements here about what's going on with the show and what we can look forward to in the future from the Sean Brown Show at JP, because we are looking to stay right here with you guys and do big things. Major League Baseball, again, as we said yesterday, opened up the season. Big time game for the Cubs against the Marlins. It was pretty much a big Parkland Memorial as both teams were wearing patches for Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, the high school that was involved in the Parkland shooting last month
That is correct.
down in Florida. Anthony Rizzo, who's actually from Parkland, Florida, lives down in Parkland, Florida, had a lot of people there. It was a sea of blue at Tropicana Field.
Yeah.
It really was.
It
Final score of
was
that game was
wonderful.
8-4, though. By the way, Cubs get the win as it was pretty much a home game for them. They're expecting when the Red Sox come to town for it to be the exact same way. But let's run through some scores because my New York Mets showed up wonderfully yesterday. Granted, it's only the first day of the season. Today's day 2. Mets over the Cardinals 9-4 yesterday. Noah Syndergaard came out roaring with 10 strikeouts to open up the 2018 season.
It's the first day, but that looks very promising.
It does.
Syndergaard, y'all definitely need him this year to step up.
Well, he's predicted to be 1, 2, 3 in the top pitchers in the MLB, one of those 3 slots. So hopefully that'll stay solid, and we can keep a core pitching staff around him. As we all know, last year injuries really side-saddled the New York Mets.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all were definitely injury riddled last year. Kind of cost you guys, but hey, y'all healthy this year, so let's see what y'all gonna do on this Mets talk you talking about.
Hey, I'm a Mets fan. It's fun to see as former workers for the Savannah Sand Gnats that are now the Columbia Fireflies. It's always good to see former Sand Gnats doing big things in the majors. Brandon Nimmo played yesterday for the Mets, former Sand Gnat. Let's see who else played. Kevin Plawecki, former Sand Gnat. Flores, a former Sand Gnat. Robert Gazelma is a former pitcher from the championship season. Ahmed Rosario started at shortstop, former Sand Gnat. We've got quite a few guys that are on the 40-man roster, quite a few guys on the active roster. So you're going to see a lot. If you're a local product here from the city of Savannah, you're going to see a lot of guys that you saw playing at historic Grayson Stadium, playing for the New York Mets this year. And then out in St. Louis, Savannah native John Gant is on the AAA roster, but he's on the 10-day DL right now. Also look out because Josh Reddick's still doing big things out in Houston. They played yesterday as well.
Yeah, man, defending champs.
Their final score for that game yesterday between the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers and a battle for Texas, 4-1 was the final score in the Lone Star State. Orioles beat the Twins in extra innings, 3-2. 13 hits combined between both teams. Jones with the walk-off home run for the win for the Orioles. It was always fun to see. Your Yankees, JP.
Absolutely.
Giancarlo Stanton
We
had
live.
a hell of a day, as we would say.
Yeah, we live, baby.
Welcome
Yes,
to
sir.
welcome to the Yankees.
Welcome to New York.
Welcome to the 2018 season. Here's a couple home runs.
Yeah, man. Come on. We already knew what he was going. We already knew it was going to be when it comes to his bat when it coming into New York. I mean, I'm not going to put all my eggs in that basket just yet. Even though I am a super New York fan, I'm not going to put all my eggs in the basket just yet. But for Stanton to come out opening day and have 2 home runs, I mean, come on, man. What you going to do with that? You can't really do anything with that. Hicks had a good game. Judge had a good game. Gardner had a good game. I mean, it's coming from everywhere. And then that's not even really Gregorius didn't have a good game, but of course he's going to show up sooner or later in the season. So, I mean, we all right now. Just get that pitching right, man. We might be World Series champions again.
We're going to see. It's day 2 of the MLB season. You got a long way to go. And we all know how the stretch of the season does take its toll on players. So we'll see what happens. We'll always be interested in keeping tabs on not just the Yankees, but baseball as a whole. Let's get through the rest of these scores so we can talk about what's going on here locally this weekend, because there's some big things happening in the area in the next 72 hours, I should say. And we'll get to those things in a second. Tampa Bay Rays, Vince Caffiero and the Tampa Bay Rays beat the Red Sox 6-4 opening day. Vince got to continue his opening day panorama photo
There you go.
he takes every opening day. He's got his tradition that he does, and they get the win 6-4 over the Red Sox. In 11 innings, the Athletics over the Anaheim Angels, or the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, however you want to say it. It's the Angels. They lost to the Athletics 6-5. Phillies lost to the Braves. The Braves looked good last night.
Yeah, walk-off fashion.
Nick Markakis with the 3-run walk-off. 9 hits for the Braves. Evans Davis, shouts out to you.
Yeah, let's keep it going so we can keep Evans Davis off the ledge of that bridge, boy. Golly.
It's only day 2 of the season, so we got a long way to go. 12 innings of baseball, the Brewers beat the Padres 2-1 in San Diego. White Sox over the Royals 14-7. Kansas City's got some work to do, even though, like we keep saying, it's only day 2 today.
But sometimes you can see what a person's season is going to be like from the first game. Sometimes you can see that.
We'll see. I mean, if you looked at that Miami Marlins game yesterday, Ozuna came out terribly in that first 2 innings, and then he finally got it back together.
Some things never change, sir.
Yeah, we'll see. Giants over the Dodgers 1-0 in a low-scoring game. Shutout for the Dodgers. The Giants get the shutout over the Dodgers. Indians lost to the Marlins. Indians lost to the Mariners 2-1. It's Friday. I can't talk. It's been a long week.
Has it?
Diamondbacks over the Rockies 8-2.
Rubber mouth.
The game between the Pirates and the Tigers and the Washington Nationals versus the Cincinnati Reds was postponed due to weather. Makeup date is today. So doubleheader action to open up the season for both Pittsburgh, Detroit, Nationals, and the Reds. That's going to be fun to see.
Yeah, bros. Nice slate of games here. Nice slate of games in MLB, man. Everything interesting is winding up. I still got baseball to lean on. College basketball is almost over. NBA is making their push to the playoff right now. All my sports are about to go.
Man, that push to the playoffs is getting crazy in the NBA right now, as it's looking like Toronto's the team to beat in the East, man.
Yeah, I told you that. I told you that last week. I had to switch my teams for who I thought was coming out the East and the West. Now I had Boston at first, but now I got to say Toronto's coming out the East, man. They're playing crazy basketball right now. It's God, I can't think of his name. DeRozan's clicking on all cylinders, man. He's doing everything on both sides of the ball, getting his team active. Honestly, not being like what a Westbrook was, trying to put the load all on his shoulders. Man, Fred VanVleet from Wichita State getting buckets. Who would have ever thought that? And, I mean, Lowry's coming back into the player he used to be a few years ago. So, I mean, I don't see anybody stopping them unless they have, like, a critical injury first round of the playoffs or something like that. That would keep them from going far. But I see them coming out the East easily.
I think Boston's still going to be a team to be focused on, though.
You got
to look at it. Toronto's got a history of getting to the playoffs and just falling apart.
I definitely got Toronto, Boston in the ECF. Definitely.
Really? So you're absolutely just pushing Cleveland to the side.
Cleveland to the side, bro. It's too little, too late. I mean, if you wanted to make those changes and get a push for number 1 or 2, you should have made those trades earlier. I understand the trade deadline is at a certain time in the season, but with the crew you had when you started the season, you were destined for failure.
Okay, so here's the question. The Cleveland Cavaliers, if the playoffs start today, would play Washington Wizards, correct?
Yes.
Do they beat the Wizards?
In 6, yes.
Okay. Who wins the Sixers-Pacers series? That's almost a lock, but
Philly.
It's not a lock.
Philly. Philly is playing very consistent basketball right now. Embiid just went down with an injury, but he should be good for the playoffs.
They said 4 to 6 weeks. He's got folks that didn't know, Joel Embiid is down with an orbital eye socket injury. He's having surgery. I think he had it yesterday.
Right.
But it's 4 to 6 weeks. He's predicted to be down. So he'll be back about the same time as Steph Curry from out west.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting.
That's two different. That's two different.
Two different injuries.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
two different scenarios too. I think Golden State would be successful without Steph for a little bit.
But I think the Sixers are going to need Joel Embiid, especially if they have to play. The Pacers are a decent team. They're not a bad team. They're a decent team. Sixers can beat the Pacers at full strength, but they're going to have to be at full strength to finish this thing up. Now the Sixers coincidentally, do still have an opportunity to take over the 3 seed.
Yeah.
They're only half a game behind the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, in all reality, Cleveland could end up being the 5 seed in this situation or the 6 seed.
I think Cleveland will hold 3. LeBron, it's about time for LeBron to flip that switch. It's about that time for him to go ahead, lock down. They have a core of players that could be successful. It's just running into that. This team they have now is not, I won't say playoff tested. I won't say that, but they don't have the playoff clicking as a unit during the playoffs.
They don't even have a coach.
Well, that's true, but I mean,
Well,
your coach is on the floor.
They have Coach LeBron, but they don't have somebody. They don't have a head coach on the side. There's no Ty Lue. He's supposed to be back today, but he's just observing today. So you technically still have no coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the Cavs are going to be okay. Tyronn Lue is giving insight from afar right now. He's not literally on the bench, but he's still got his finger on the pulse. If you think about it,
it's a difference between Tyronn Lue and Steve Kerr doing that.
That's true.
Steve Kerr did the same thing for his back injury, but it's a vast difference between Ty Lue and Steve Kerr. Plus, Steve Kerr had Mike Brown right behind him.
Right, exactly.
Who's the assistant coach for Cleveland?
Right.
That's the question because
Mike
Ty
Brown,
Lue's not like he's no Popovich. He's Ty Lue. He got stepped over by Iverson. He's Ty Lue. But I don't see Cleveland going very far in the playoffs this year.
I don't see them going far either, but they do have the pieces to go far. And I mean, if they can click, anything is possible. LeBron's gonna get his. We just need J.R. Smith to come up and Rodney Hood coming from Utah. These players have to have significant performances for them to go far. It can't just be on LeBron like it was 2 years ago or a year ago when they lost to Golden State.
Well, what people aren't thinking about either is the fact that LeBron's putting up good numbers right now. LeBron's going to put up good numbers. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to crunch time, when it comes down to that C word, clutch time, LeBron disappears. Consistently.
He can't do that this year.
Consistently, LeBron disappears. There's no Kyrie Irving to fall back on this year. So in the playoffs, LeBron actually has to do it for himself for the first time in, a decade?
Yeah, basically.
So
since that NBA Finals team.
The spotlight's on LeBron James. He's got to get it done in order for the Cavaliers to make a move. And then he's got to make a decision, okay, am I going to stay or am I going to go? Which I see him wearing the wine and gold. I'm just saying.
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying. I see purple and gold in LeBron.
He don't want to go to the West right now.
I don't know. The Lakers could use him.
Yeah, they could use him.
Aging superstar that's looking to finish out his career. He's still going to put up good numbers. Go somewhere where you don't have to be the focus anymore.
How successful would they be? Now if you want my opinion, my vast opinion on it, LeBron's in trouble right now. He's in real trouble.
On what side?
He's been in the East his entire career.
True.
Now, we haven't known the East to be a real powerhouse conference. Cleveland was really all we had for a long time with LeBron, and then he went to Miami, and Miami was all we had.
Uh-huh.
But you go to the West, you got Golden State, Houston, San Antonio. You got all these teams that are consistent playoff teams that are successful in the playoffs. LeBron ain't never met a monster like a Golden State, a Houston, a San Antonio on a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been Philly, Detroit, the Knicks, Brooklyn, teams like that. Now all of a sudden, Toronto and Boston are starting to creep up in the elite status of the East. There was never an elite team other than a team that LeBron played for in the East for like the last 7 or 8 years.
And if not this year, next year, Philadelphia will be in that discussion as well.
And
Miami,
and Embiid gets nothing but
Miami
better.
is quickly coming up in that discussion again.
Yeah, because they got Wade back. Miami just came off a big win against Cleveland.
Wade coming back for Miami was one of the biggest sparks to push them to where they needed to be as a team. It built that unity, and they're playing ball right now.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, the Western Conference is still the Western Conference.
Right.
I mean, it's Houston, Golden State, San Antonio. These are teams that when they get to the playoffs, it's go time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not Utah and teams like that, but you got some teams in the West that'll absolutely obliterate teams in the East.
What's that Western Conference look like? Because I can
Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the Western Conference and preview the possible Western Conference playoffs right now. I don't see Oklahoma City going very far because they just didn't seem to mesh very well. They play well, but they just didn't see. I mean,
You still got look at these teams. Look at the top
top
six.
5 of the Western Conference right now. Houston Rockets in the 1 seed, clinched. Golden State in the 2 seed, clinched. Portland Trailblazers, 15 games back. San Antonio, 17.5 games back. Oklahoma City, 17.5 games back. New Orleans, 18 games back. The Minnesota Timberwolves, 18.5 back, and then the Utah Jazz rounded out. I don't see the Jazz holding
Everything from 4 to 8 is up in the air.
I don't see the Jazz holding that spot. I'm sorry.
I don't see the Clippers catching them.
You don't think the Clippers? They're 1 game behind the Jazz for that 8 seed. You don't see them catching it.
No.
Let's look at the Clippers next as they finish out the game. How many games left in the season?
Oh, where are we at right now? Ugh. What's their record? What's the Clippers' record right now? They got Portland. That's a loss. They got Portland at Portland. That's a loss. That's a loss right there. I'm sorry to say it like that, but that's a loss. You got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games left.
7 games left. They're 1 game behind, and they have
you're
to play Utah
really cupcake
at Utah.
teams. You're playing real cupcake teams.
Exactly.
Denver,
but you got to play Utah
LA.
at Utah. That's going to be the decider. April 5th is going to be the big decider. Who gets that 8 seed? Utah is the 8 seed right now.
Somebody's going to lose a whole game.
Yep, and Denver's still in the hunt. Denver's still in the same spot. They got to go to Denver. So these 2 games are going to be absolutely key for the Los Angeles Clippers if they want to get that extra push without Chris Paul to the playoffs for the first time.
Yeah, it's
going to be interesting because the Lakers can't help them. As a lot of teams, but then at the same time, you have to look at what the other teams that they're playing, what their schedules look like for the rest of the season as well. Because if they've got a couple back-to-back losses, they lose that slot easily because half a game adds up real quick when you only have 7 games left.
So
they got Minnesota. The Lakers are not a team to play with.
But you got Memphis. That's a win. Memphis is a shell of themselves.
They've got but come on now, look at the rest of the games.
2
Memphis today, the rest of their season is against playoff teams outside of the Lakers. And the Lakers, honestly, had the season changed maybe a week or 2 in different scenarios, the Lakers would be in the playoffs.
Possibly.
The Lakers can beat the Jazz. One's at home. If you got a home and away series, they got to go to Golden State. They got to go to Portland. Well, they come to Portland. Sorry. Golden State goes to them, and then they got to go to Portland. So Utah's got a harder road in front of them than the people chasing them do.
I agree with that, but I still think Utah's got a better core than the Clippers, man. I'm sorry. Losing Chris Paul and Blake Griffin completely depleted them, and they lost shooter. What is
Redick's been going.
No, yeah, Redick too. But I'm talking about the other one, Jamal. What's his name?
Crawford,
right. They lost him too. So
they've got some players though. Avery Bradley, Patrick Beverly. They got a few guys. Danilo Gallinari. They've got a few
but Beverly's
solid
not playing
players
right now.
Wesley Johnson. You still got big man in the middle. You still got DeAndre Jordan. Austin Rivers, who's, I hate to say it, he's not liked, but he's not to be slept on.
Oh, not at all. And you still got Lou Williams.
You still got old sweet Lou. So you've got the pieces to. At the end of the day, they're just trying to get that spot. You figure everything else out game at a time once you get that spot.
Yeah, but I would hate for the Clippers to get there and then just completely get blown out by Houston.
It's nothing new. It happens every year.
I think the Jazz could give them a better little run.
We're gonna see.
Than LA.
We're gonna see. So earlier this week, the NFL decided that they were gonna change things up a bit, and they've added 5 new rules for player safety. Biggest one is penalizing both offensive and defensive players for using the helmet in contact.
Yeah, that goes for running backs too. They're slowly but surely softening the NFL,
turning into flag football until the XFL gets back. When the XFL returns, it's going to be full-fledged football
if
again.
He Hate Me is not playing, I'm not watching. Thank you.
I think we're going to see quite a few former stars in the NFL in the XFL, or guys that just couldn't get their act together will be in the XFL.
Give Kaepernick a job.
Give
him a job.
Don't get me started early today. It's only 12:21. You're gonna get me started on Colin Kaepernick.
Give him a job.
Because
Johnny Manziel needs a job too.
No, I think Colin Kaepernick should have the job before Johnny Manziel gets the job. Simply on the fact that why is Johnny Manziel getting all these opportunities when Colin Kaepernick hasn't gotten one opportunity? Johnny Manziel is a problem child. All Colin Kaepernick did was stand up for justice.
What does You make a point, but look at where scrutiny is coming from. What do people want to hear more of? A feel good story of someone who was down on their luck and drug ridden and
But he
everything
wasn't
else.
down on his luck. He put that on himself.
Okay, it still happened, but what would somebody rather see? Somebody self recover and get back in the league and be successful, or would they rather see somebody who, if you're that person and they speak against your views, you're not going to support them? So who would they rather see, the feel good story, or would they rather support somebody who doesn't support their views?
Well, they're already putting pieces in place during the offseason meetings and moves for the national anthem. The players will not be out on the field during national anthem. That's pretty much a guarantee for this coming up season. So that takes that whole discussion out of the picture. So now why does Colin Kaepernick not have a job?
I don't know. I mean, the damage is done now. Whether you keep the players on the field or not, the damage is done. And it's going to be very hard for him to patch up the damage that, if you want to call it damage. I don't call it damage because everybody's got a right to stand up for what they believe in, and everybody's got a right to their own opinion. But it's who's this opinion affect? And now everybody's torn on such and such and blah blah blah. And let's just be realistic about it. Colin Kaepernick is right about everything he said.
Exactly,
he's right about everything he said. So you ain't gonna please all the people all the time. Everybody's gonna have a different opinion, and everybody ain't gonna agree with what you say. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm saying Manziel would be a better story to see him come back and play football because of where he was at, and now he's trying to sit here and make himself better into a better person. And if he gets back in the league and be successful, that's a story, right? That's a story. But Colin Kaepernick, all we've had was head clashing and head butting. People disagreeing with this, people disagreeing with that.
People are disagreeing because the man took a knee in a protest for justice, and people disagree about him standing up for justice. That's foolishness.
Well,
malarkey.
Some people disagreed about the kids skipping school for 17 minutes.
I did, because and I'm gonna say why.
Disagreed with that?
I did disagree with it, and here's why. Here's why I disagree with those kids with the kids leaving school. If every kid doesn't do it, then you're just skipping class. If every kid in that school doesn't get up and stand up together in unity, then you're skipping class. On the other side, we're talking about kids is walking up and protesting gun violence, but the same kids that are leading all these protests are now admitting that they bullied the kid that committed the crime. So where's the problem? The problem's in bullying. The problem's not in the guns. And I discovered 3 topics in one statement.
Okay, bullying plays a part.
Bullying plays a major part. The main young lady that is screaming up and down and standing and pausing for 17 seconds and talking specifically for 6 minutes and 20 seconds, she is the main one that's come forward and said, hey, I bullied this kid. I picked on him. I made his life terrible.
Okay, so what do? You lock up the girl that's bullying the kid?
No, I'm not saying you lock him up. I'm saying you address the problem. Kids today are a lot different than when we were growing up, right? Bullying is a problem in school. Kids are a lot more, they're not as emotionally stable as we were growing up. But at the same time, we were used to getting a switch and a electrical cord, and if you're really playing with it, and a frying pan upside the head. I didn't get a frying pan upside the head. Let me clear that up. But
I got a racetrack, but I ain't never got no frying
Lord,
pan.
Not the plastic racetrack.
Yeah, of course.
Lord, Hot Wheels.
No,
with just wheels.
No, it was the one. It was the one with the. It was the one that with the remote, and you turned the wheel.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was. Those.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
With the metal in the middle.
See, these days you can't even do that.
No.
I saw a video the other day of Dr. Phil, and the man was punishing his child as the child was acting out. The man punished his child. Dr. Phil turned to the man and said, "You're absolutely." He pretty much called him a monster, because he was correcting his child. He was scolding his child. I mean, the kid was cursing and screaming, and it was foolishness. It wouldn't happen on our side of the tracks.
No, absolutely.
But we coddle the kids are being coddled. The problem of bullying, you got kids committing suicide because they're getting bullied.
True.
It's that much of an issue that we need to address that issue. Instead, they want to take it and turn it around and point it to something else that has nothing to do with the problem.
But let me put it this way. Okay, we've already agreed that bullying is a major problem. A lot of bullying would stop if these parents would step up and show their kids what their value and their worth really is. I mean, it's okay. It's okay to sit there and I mean, I have friends and I call them this, that, and the other, and we play as friends. But I've had people come up to me and say this, that, and the other. Oh, John, you put on weight, man. You done got fat, blah, 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 blah. And then they're being serious. They're not like playing with me. They're like being serious.
I've had family do that. I mean, I came out the military 180 pounds.
Right, but the bottom line is these people that's saying these things about me ain't got no heaven or hell to put me in.
True.
They don't sign my checks.
But kids don't understand that.
That's where the parents come in. The parents got to come in and tell these kids, no matter what anybody says about you, you need to know that you're worth something. And you need to instill that and embed that in your kids. If your parents come through and they show their kids the attention and everything else, and they show the worth of their child, take your child. If your child is 16, 17 years old and trying to do all of this stuff and committing suicide, take your child back to when they were little, the achievements when they were little. Don't dwell on the present so much of them being a problem child. Take them back to their graduation from 5th grade, or take them back when they won the spelling bee in the 3rd grade, or take them back when they won the science fair in the 7th grade. Take them back to stuff that they did that was positive and say, hey, you did this. You can make something out of this when you grow up. Some parents, like suicide and shooting up schools, have a lot to do with parents not sitting there encouraging their children.
Or not being there, period.
Right. So all they know is kids sitting there bullying them, telling them what they can't do, instead of having in the back of my mind, well, you say this, but my mom, who gave birth to me and has been a parent to me all my life, says I can do this. Which one are they going to go towards more? The parent that nurtured them and raised them up, or some idiot kid that wants to impress their friends by bullying somebody else?
But let's be realistic. Let's just be absolutely realistic. In the day and age, we grew up in a day and age where jokes was jokes, but people take jokes more serious now. If you come in and if you back in the day came and said, well, my mom said I could do this because I did this and I did this, who cares about your mama?
No, listen. And back in the day, and shout out to Trey Styles saying this on his live earlier. Back in the day, we used these hands. We wasn't talking about no guns. If you had a problem with me, meet me at the park at 3:15. Let's put these hands up. We wasn't talking. We wasn't thinking
got
about.
Out of school late.
Yeah, we was in New York, man.
Yeah, I got out. Super late.
Yeah,
2:15 in Virginia.
Yeah, we used these hands, so we wasn't thinking about costing a family member, or we wasn't thinking about having a mother grieve because their child got shot. We was using these hands, and back then guns really wasn't applicable like they are now.
They weren't even a thought.
Yeah, they wasn't even a thought.
You weren't in the military, then
yeah, exactly. So I mean, times are so different, but I agree wholeheartedly with the kids skipping out of school. I agree wholeheartedly because of it, because they're actually standing up for something. You'll stand up for something or you'll fall for anything. So,
but what are they really standing up for?
But I can understand if it was 12 people, 20, 30. But it was entire schools. Did you see the picture of L.A. standing up during the rally? Blocks of downtown L.A. were packed with people.
But there were also blocks of kids storming Walmarts and trashing Walmarts in the name of Parkland. But at the same time,
there's a bad apple in every bunch.
You had 100 bad apples?
100 compared to the thousands that were there for a positive reason?
But the point still stands. If you don't have 100% of support from your students on that, 100%. Then you got to find another way to get everybody on board. Because clearly, and let's be honest, let's be realistic. How many parents told their kids, let me find out you talking about skipping class? How many parents? Are you senior skip day? My mama told me straight up, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it.
Yeah, but
they're planning a nationwide walkout. You better have your behind in that class, or I'm gonna come put you back in class.
I don't know.
Am I wrong?
I don't know. In our day, no, you're not wrong.
Because it still stands the same. If the entire school, or at least the entire class, if we're in a classroom of 30 kids and 28 kids walk out, 28 kids just walked out, that teacher's still teaching 2 kids.
Right.
You see my point now? 2 kids are still getting taught. If all 30 kids walk out of that class, there's nobody to teach. If 28 kids walk out, 2 stay, then you're still having class. Those 28 kids skip class.
If all 30 kids walked out the class, why wouldn't the teacher jump on board and support the cause? Either you're for it or you're against it. So if you stay in the class and not support the kids that you teach, that means you don't support the vision.
But there's ways to address the vision and approach the vision that are more effective than what's being done, in my opinion.
We've tried everything.
I disagree.
What have we
I
not tried?
wholeheartedly disagree. I think if people start checking the man to the left and the right, that has not been done yet. You check your peers. Check your peers to your left and your right. Then come cry to everybody else. Say, look, we did what we needed to do as their peers and checking out our own village, right?
So is that not the same thing?
No, because it hasn't been done yet.
How is
the girl just came out yesterday saying she bullied the boy.
Yeah, but how is So somebody had to check her to say, hey, you need to admit to this. This man did this because
or
you were
had
sitting
a guilt
there.
trip, or he admitted,
or it's got to be something.
He probably said it and I don't know the details of the story, but he probably said it in the deposition. The same girl that's out here trying to battle for us is one of the same people that made my life miserable. The boy's mother, and I'm not making any excuses for what the boy did. It's apprehensible. He's a domestic terrorist. He should be tried as a domestic terrorist, just like the fool that blew himself up in Texas. But, and I shouldn't even put a but here, if we can change how our kids are treating each other and have them treat each other with respect, we can change a lot.
Yeah, but how do we do that? It's an almost impossible job.
That should be the discussion.
But
that should be the discussion, not saying, oh, well, we need to take guns out of everybody's hands, and we need to take this and take these and take all these rights that people fought for, and we need to address the actual issues.
But that's about as possible as jumping out of a plane with no parachute and surviving.
Captain America did it.
Exactly my point.
I still haven't seen Black Panther.
My point.
I still haven't seen Black Panther.
Dude, you're oh my God, you're 6 weeks late.
I am.
7 weeks late.
I've been waiting on my lovely wife.
Jesus Christ.
But coming out. Ooh, this just comes out. Breaking news: the Pulse nightclub shooting widow has been acquitted and found not guilty of all charges related to her husband's 2016 Orlando, Florida massacre.
Now, she was the one that enabled him and hit him, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. This world is going to hell.
Found not guilty. JP, what's your opinion of the Roseanne show coming back? I'm curious.
I love it.
Really?
I love it. Roseanne was a wonderful show back in the day. I mean, you have to have, I don't know what they call it, but it's kind of like off comedy.
Mm-hmm. There's a dark comedy?
There's a word. Yeah, you have to have like a
Paul Moody kind of comedy.
Yeah, you have to have a certain thing about you for dark comedy. It's very subtle, and if you didn't follow Roseanne back in the day, you probably won't understand the reboot. So go back and watch past episodes of Roseanne in the 90s. Watch those, and then you'll actually get it. Because if you're watching it for the first time, the reboot, you probably ain't going to get it. You have to know the backstory of the characters, the kids, the husband, Roseanne herself, Roseanne's best friend. You have to know where all of that entails. It's almost like watching
just like
Fast and the Furious.
If you brought anything back from the 90s,
it's like the Fast and the Furious series. If you didn't watch 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you came in on 6, you would understand nothing.
Other than the fact that Paul Walker died.
Yeah, that's about it.
Who's Brian?
Right.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's good. Now all they have to do is bring back reboots of let's see,
Family Matters.
Yeah, Family Matters. I don't want a Fresh Prince reboot.
You got to leave Fresh Prince alone.
Yeah, I don't want a Fresh Prince reboot. Bring back all that from Nickelodeon. Bring that back. They were on Wild 'N Out the other 3 weeks ago, and that was a bomb.
I
show.
say bring Nickelodeon back. Period. Bring back old school Nickelodeon.
Where they gonna put it at?
Give them their own network. Bring back Salute Your Shorts. Bring back the Goosebumps. Bring back all of that. Animaniacs. Bring back real kid stuff. Now
they have it. They got a network for it, but it's not the same.
It's not what it used to be. Not what it used to be. But we got off on a tangent here. Final Four is this weekend. Tomorrow, Final Four NCAA basketball. We will have the championship game on Monday night.
Yes.
Loyola Chicago could be.
That's what I'm going for.
I want to see Sister Jean get the title.
Chicago win. That's what I want to see.
Very few teams have made it this far. Final Four was the end of the road for teams like LSU, George Mason, and VCU. But could Loyola Chicago be that team to go?
Yes, absolutely. We've heard of Cinderellas going far. George Mason made it to the Final Four. Loyola Chicago is very advantageous at the point because they play Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they'd have played either Kansas or Villanova, I don't know. I don't like their chances. But we also said we didn't like their chances against the other 3 teams that they played in this tournament.
True.
And they blew out a good Kansas State team by 18 points.
Very, very true.
And the other 3 games that they had were decided by 4 points total. But Loyola Chicago is a great team, man. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm going to be a bandwagon fan for the weekend. And if they don't win, okay, they had a great year. Recruiting's going to go up. You got recruiting for George Mason went up
Enrollment's
in
going to go up.
Yep. Enrollment's going to go up. So it's a good look for the university. Plus, it made March Madness wonderful this year to see this team go this far. Loyola Chicago is, I won't say it's a Bible college, but it's a
Bible college.
It is a Bible college?
Yes.
Okay, so you can't put them in a George Mason.
Sister Jean is a nun.
Yeah. You can't put them in a George Mason category because George Mason was just a regular D1 school. Bible colleges are not known for being successful. So Loyola Chicago is breaking the mold right now.
They're about the same rate of success as an HBCU.
Yeah.
Realistically. But let's look at the numbers. Loyola Chicago is averaging 72 points a game. Michigan's averaging 74.1 points per game. The Wolverines give up 59 points a game, and Loyola Chicago gives up 63. So they're going to have a few things that they got to look at.
Down on defense.
But Loyola Chicago shoots a better percentage from the field for the season. So that's going to be something to look at. It's going to be fun to see. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a lot of hoopla up around it. They've actually trademarked Sister Jean as a whole and as an entity. So that's fun to see. But it's there's a lot going on. It's going to be a very, very busy weekend. And that's game 1 of the Final Four. That's tomorrow at 6:09 p.m. on TBS. And then game 2.
Which we were supposed to be in.
Game 2. He's talking about
we were
Duke,
supposed to
but
be
we're
in that
going to
game.
let the past be the past. 31-7 Kansas will take on 34-4 Villanova. The 2 number 1 seeds that are left will play each other and cancel each other out at 8:49 tomorrow on TBS at the Alamodome in San Antonio, Texas.
The who? The Alamodome?
The Alamodome, I'm sorry.
The Lotion Stadium.
The Silver Dome.
Right. No, not.
Let's see. Villanova's favored to win this game over Kansas. I'm sorry, Sean Bolden, but that's what the stats say. But let's look at the numbers. The numbers don't really lie. Villanova's averaged 86.6 points per game on the season. Kansas averaged 81.4 points per game, 74 points against, and 64 points against for the Villanova.
If Kansas could get another game out of Newman like he did against Duke, Kansas will win that game.
We're gonna see. It's gonna be fun to see this weekend. But I don't think you're gonna be watching too much of these games because this weekend is your birthday celebration.
That is correct. That is correct. I am gonna watch the 31st games. 6 of 9. I will watch the Loyola Chicago game. I will definitely watch that game. Kansas Villanova really don't care that much, but it's the turn up this weekend.
So JP, if people wanted to come celebrate your birthday with you, where do they got to go?
Man, listen, hit me up on Facebook, Jonathan Drumlover Prophet. Hit me up on Instagram, JPS Music 15. Hit me on my Snap. I don't even know what my Snap is. I'm on it, but I don't never check what my name is. Hit me up. Let me know if you want to come. I can get you on the VIP list, and we'll be good. I got to have a number probably by the end of the day. But, yeah, hit your boy up. Even if you do come, just come to Elon this weekend. If I know you, you can come party with me anyway.
It's a good bit of people coming out there?
Yeah, I got a nice little squad coming with me. My wife is going to be with me. I think Quadro Angelico, who we'll have on the show in a little bit. I want to get his comments on my Stop the Bus, but he's going to be out there. Some people from work are going to be out there. It's going to be fun, man. Last year, I had a great birthday. You were there with me. My debut show at Elon.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
been a year. So, and what were we, like 5, 6 people?
Yeah.
And didn't even have VIP, and we had a great time.
We had fun.
So, yeah, man, come out and celebrate with your boy, man. This will be a good opportunity if you watch the show to meet me. And if Sean's calling, you can meet Sean, too. And we'll have a blast, man. I'm going to work, too, because I need that coin.
I don't know if I'm going to be out there or not. Saturday night.
God.
It's Saturday before. It's a Saturday night before Easter, man.
Oh, man.
I got to play Sunday morning.
Man, listen, just iron your suit, lay it on the bed, and then just.
Oh, the suit's already ironed. It goes in the closet ironed.
Yeah, just lay it on the bed or hang it up, whatever. Come out for about an hour. At least show your face.
I tell you what, I'll come out for about an hour because I can't bring Pella with me. So
right.
Yeah.
At least show your face.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I can't make any promises. That's fair.
Nah.
It's fair, right? Can't make any promises.
Yeah, okay.
Plus, I'm working on some other stuff in the background. So
Right, I got you. So, okay, with the other stuff in the background, if you don't come, I'll understand.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But you still owe me a
But
bottle.
folks,
You
make
still
your
owe me a bottle at the end of the day.
A bottle? What you want a bottle of? You want some Mama
Orange juice.
Orange juice? Because I stopped drinking. You had that. I got some stuff in the freezer you can have that I'm not going to drink anymore.
No, I'm good. I don't want nothing out your... See that? No.
No, it's Crown Royal.
No lean for me.
It's Crown Royal.
Regular?
Yeah.
I'm good.
All right.
I'm straight.
Fancy. Fancy man over here.
No, man.
I only drink salted caramel Crown.
No, that's you.
It's good, too.
See? See that? See? You telling on yourself.
But let's get to our Stop the Bus segment. Can I go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to go first for the Stop the Bus segment for this week. And it's brought to you by the guys here at the Sean Brown Show.
Ha!
Because we're here for you guys.
That is correct.
You guys can't see our smile, but we're smiling right now. Just for you. That corny commercial. You got to put the star on the incisor. Yeah. Today's Stop the Bus. Wow. We had a situation yesterday here in the city of Savannah, / Tybee Island. He had a vehicle accident, and the driver of the vehicle, his name is John Richard, decided he was going to get up and flee the scene. Left 3 people in serious condition, and left the scene in a black Crown Victoria. The black Crown Victoria was located at his residence right here by my house at Windsor Arms Apartments, and confiscated, but he is still at large. Take a lucky roll of the dice of what he looks like, because he's not black, if that helps.
I wonder.
To me, it's convenient, and our police officers do a great job. They work very hard to accomplish and handle the mission. But it's just amazing to me how, look at the Sheldon Clark situation, and then this guy does this, and we all know there's folks, and if you don't never been to Savannah, never been to Tybee Island, there's one way off Tybee Island and one way on Tybee Island.
That is correct.
So how do you get into that serious of a wreck and get away with those restrictions and no one stops you? Not armed, by the way. It makes no sense to me. And I've seriously sat and thought about this overnight. I was like, how is it possible that no one stopped this man? We see videos all the time on social media of people getting in an accident, they try and drive off, and bystanders stop them. They go, They pull them over, and they make them get out of the vehicle. How is it that no one stopped this man from fleeing the scene of this accident? It blows my mind. Are we that far gone as a people? And the fact that he's still at large and has not been turned in. And I'm going to check just to make sure I'm not telling a lie. Make sure he hasn't turned himself in.
A lot of people say if it don't involve me, I don't want nothing to do with it.
But see, that goes back to the previous discussion we had earlier in the show about bullying and the problems that are going on. This man has been on the run for 24 hours now. This is. I mean, I don't understand it.
There it is right there.
He's wanted by Georgia State Patrol. He put people in a hospital, man, and then fled the scene. His name is John Richard. He's no longer driving a black Crown Victoria because the Chatham County Police did take the vehicle, but he has put people in the hospital in serious injury. So if you guys know this guy, if you're listening to the show, you know who this guy is. His name is John Richard. He's 34 years old, and he's seriously harmed some people. I guess he lives over in Windsor Arms off of Largo. So if you guys know who this guy is, turn him in.
Oh,
do the right thing. Turn him in. He looks very familiar. I can't lie. He looks very familiar, but I don't know him.
I don't frequent Tybee like that.
No, not Tybee, but he lives over here. So I feel like we've seen him in the local area. I'm not sure, but if you guys know who this guy is, turn him in. Let's get justice. Let's get justice done. That's my Stop the Bus for now.
Well, I haven't stopped the bus, and I have 14 minutes.
14 minutes and 59 seconds.
Yeah, 14 minutes. I got one interesting, though.
What's up, Evans Davis? We see you tuning in.
Coach, what's happening, boy? My Stop the Bus is I'm going to piggyback on what I watched earlier today. There's a few people that threw some lives out there. So I'm going to hit that button for me right there, if you don't mind.
What did you
I'm
watch
gonna
earlier?
try to get him on the line. There were some people that put some lives on Facebook.
Hello?
Rufus,
What's up, man?
what's up, bro? Yo, you're live, by the way. Sean Brown Show with JP welcomes Rufus Bryant Quadro Angelico onto the stage. That's my boy, member of
Yo,
TG
yeah.
Live. Real good homeboy of mine, man. Filled in for me at Elon a couple of times, man. Well, first of all, welcome to the show. How you doing, bro?
Say that again?
I said, first of all, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Oh, man. I'm doing good, man. Thank you, man, for allowing me to be on the show, man.
Man, we appreciate you taking the time out. I know you're at work. You was at work with the big dry erase marker board in the background earlier today. But
Yeah.
we're doing the stop the bus moment segment right now, and I want to talk about jealousy in the workplace. Now this is piggybacking off of what you and our homeboy Trey Style were talking about earlier. Incidents went on in the music scene of Savannah. I won't mention any names.
Oh,
but,
no,
I'm not mentioning. No, I'm not putting names out there. My name.
We are all part of the music scene here. Let's be completely transparent.
My name is not Trey Style Moore. If you go back, follow Trey Style on Facebook, Trey Style Moore. Go look at his live, and you get all the information. I only got 12 and a half minutes.
Does it involve a JDW?
No.
Oh, okay. So that's all done?
But, I don't know if it's done,
Okay.
but I'm not about to put the bad mouth on anybody. I'm just going to talk about jealousy in the
Pause.
Workplace.
Put
That's
mouth
what-
on people. Wait,
Hey,
pause.
man, hey,
Wait a
hold on.
minute.
Shut up, bro.
Easter
Shut up.
Sunday.
Hey, shut up, man. You tripping, man. But anyway, so we live in Savannah. Music scene is what it is, Rufus. I want to get your opinion on why you think, and then I'll give my synopsis once we close. Why you think the music scene is like it is where we're at. And I mean, the situation might be different somewhere else, or it might be the same somewhere else, but why do you think there's so much strife and controversy and backbiting and backstabbing in music scenes in general?
Word. Well, first thing I would think it starts off with is it's a character flaw, for sure. You know, just from a personal preference, a personal thing. If people are flawed, and ambition. It's this desire to be great, to be successful, to be the biggest entity in a place where people say that nothing could come from. And that desire, I think that's one of the reasons why you have a lot of in the music world, music scene in Savannah, you have a lot of crooks, deceivers, haters, all that stuff, because everybody wants to be something great and successful, and they don't know how to just wait for their opportune time. So it's just like, if I see somebody else's opportunity, I'm gonna try to take from there.
Right, but at what
what I mean?
But at what cost is it for you to sit there and try to be successful by backbiting? Like, I mean, wouldn't you think it would make better sense that if you have these people, in your circle or even in your community that could do so much stuff in the music world, and it doesn't necessarily have to be music. That's why I'm calling it jealousy in the workplace. When you have so many people that are so talented and so they can do this and help your brand, why would you? At what cost would you be a backbiter or deceiver and everything? Like, what would it benefit you? I don't see a benefit out of it. But
I don't either.
Yeah, if you were them, what do you think they benefit from trying to step on your friends to get to the top?
They think I would say this. I commend them and I respect people like that a lot of times too, on the flip side, because of the simple fact, evidently somewhere in them they believe that they got something that can blow somebody else's show out the water. And that's dope. I think that's dope when you think of yourself like that. However, when you get to the point where it's like you starting to hurt people and starting to do, evil things and twisted things like that, I think that's a big issue. And I think like it's you don't benefit from it. I mean, you may get a gig or something like that or a hit, but ultimately, man, you're not gonna really have no success from that. I highly doubt that, man. In the streets, yeah, it's all about catching that lick or whatever like that. But we're talking about music community and stuff like that, where integrity is everything.
Right.
Living by that code.
Right. So, I mean, so on another note, what do you think it would take? Because I know there's a plethora of bands. I'm doing my thing at Elon. You guys got TG Live. Lakin with Fellowship of Love, JDW Music Group or JD Music Group. That's four conglomerates that I've named in the city that do their thing. Now, what do we have to do in your opinion?
You forgot one that we used to play for.
No, I'm not. No. See, you starting stuff. Rufus, you see what he's doing? I'm trying to see here and make this.
Hey, all I'm saying, Locos on Broad Street used to go down.
Without getting into shoot. Tantra on Broad Street used to go down too. Don't get me started now. I'm trying to. But what do you think has to happen in this city to get everybody? What do you think has to happen in the city to get everybody on the same page, or will it ever happen?
I believe it's going to happen. I know for a fact it will happen. One of the reasons why I say it's going to happen is because on some real stuff, man, nobody's about that life. You know, nobody's about that life to keep holding on to beef or to keep holding on to hostility or to hold on to anger towards somebody or to backbite somebody. I truthfully do believe that the people that are doing that stuff like that actually have a heart and actually have a desire to do right or whatever. They just want to do right when they're on top.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the problem. It's just everybody's fighting to be that clique or whatever like that because, you know, they're fighting over the same women that be at every gig.
Right.
That, you know, they're fighting over the same money that ain't even a lot. Like, I know for a fact if the music scene in Savannah, if we all came together, every band came together and said we wanted more money and from these bars and these clubs and like actually did something where we're like, all right, we're going to stand together and we're going to perform out right here at the square or something like that. So that way we can get some notoriety. So that way we could get parking passes on the weekend. So we could have a place to park. We could get more money from these clubs and different things like that. We would see a benefit, you know, but the thing is we got egos and nobody wants to stand with each other and actually come together and make a change, you know, in the city of Savannah or whatever like that. One thing we would need in order to do that as well is a union. You know, there's no music union in the city of Savannah, nowhere where there's somebody actually standing up, voicing our concerns, no person that we could put power into that can go to city council and put certain demands out there and different things like that for us. We don't have that point person. We don't have that point group that we can go to. So, you know, that's one of the reasons why even as well with this beef stuff going on with a lot of these groups or the backbiting and stuff like that. And then too, one of the things is our OGs, the guys before us, they ain't saying nothing. They not trying to bring stuff together.
Right.
And that's a disappointment as well. You know, they just watch this stuff happen. I know they see this stuff on social media and they talk about it all the time and stuff like that, but nobody is trying to say, hey man, we done been here, done that, you know, X, Y, and Z, stuff like that. This is what y'all need to do. Y'all boys need to talk. Y'all boys gonna talk. You know, I'm from that era where, you know, when we had issues going on in the hood or whatever like that, the OGs made us talk. They made us hash it out. All right, y'all boys gonna knuck it out in this backyard, and y'all gonna shake hands. Y'all gonna shake hands. Y'all gonna get beat. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, it's just everybody in the music community now seems to be claiming this gangster mentality or thug style. Why not just take it to the street and handle it like that? You know, where it's not nobody getting shot, of course. But sorry about that.
So I don't want to interrupt. I've sat and I've listened to all of this, and my mind automatically went to, you know, what would it take for all of the organizations and all the groups to put ego to the side and come together and do something for the city? You know, there's an organization that's always on River Street every third weekend of the month, and they're always looking for performers. They're always looking for people to help draw the crowd. Why not every group come together and hit the stage on River Street on the third weekend of the month and do one huge concert and show the city what they can put together?
Yep. You're right. One of the reasons is because of money. Everybody's going to want Nobody's going to want to sit down and sacrifice.
Yep, that's a good point. I was just about to say that everybody's going to want to look for that payday at the end of the day. But I mean, he makes a great point about coming together and doing one big concert. Because I mean, a lot of people, for instance, TG Live and Lakin and everything, and we all have followings, but we can't pick up new followers because of our demographic, and a lot of people don't know who we are. Like sometimes we have to
Right.
go outside of the norm of what we usually do. Like take your gig to an Irish bar, or take your gig to Kevin Barry's or something, or Molly McPherson's and Pooler. Don't just stick to the quote unquote black demographic.
Well, what I'm saying is the venue that I just talked about, it's a multicultural event that happens every month throughout the spring and summer.
Right.
So, and what can be done, I mean, if you really want to go big with it, let's go big with it, right? Tell everybody, put money to the side. This is an opportunity. You link up with the organization and ask the organization, hey, help us get in contact with labels. And let's get some labels down here to see these bands perform. Because at the end of the day, that's where everybody wants to go. Everybody wants to be a signed artist, right? Everybody wants to produce music and be a star. That's the goal, hands down, bottom line.
Yeah.
So if everybody can come together and say, okay, look, I'm going to take this slot, you take this slot, you take this slot, you take this slot. Let's get these labels down here, even if they just send an AR rep, and let's show our product off. Hopefully somebody can get picked up, and then they'll bring everybody else up when they go.
Right, and I made a point earlier that Camouflage can only take Savannah so far because he's not even here anymore.
Right.
Somebody from here has got to step up and make a move and
with
say
a positive message.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Camouflage rep for the city. He was the first one really out of Savannah to really like actually go somewhere and make a success out of it. And unfortunately, he was taken too soon from us. But now that he's gone, I mean, his daughter Flage is trying to do a little something, but she's got to have some kind of backing. I mean, it can't just be her. One of us got to step up and say, hey, if she can do it, we've got a product. Let's get it out here. And it's almost like we not to steal Trey's idea, but it's kind of lackluster that we have all of these bands out here. But I mean, TG Live is traveling; they'll be in New York soon, and they're going all over South Carolina and North Carolina and everything like that. But can't we take it Midwest, West Coast, Canada?
But that's what I'm saying. If you capitalize on the market that you have here and get them to come, get the people that need to see you to come to you. Georgia's one of the music capitals of the world.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Georgia. I'm going to say Georgia because everybody they'll be from Savannah and go to Atlanta and they say they're from Atlanta, but they're really from Savannah. Big boy.
Georgia.
But what I'm saying is get them to come here. Get them to come see the show here. They got nothing to do. They're looking for artists. Get them here, put on a show. You got a free venue.
Right.
Free. All you got to do is get a time slot. It's free.
Man.
What's it hurt?
Doesn't
I'll
hurt
even
anything.
host it. I'll host it for free.
Doesn't hurt anything.
I'll host it for free on the river.
Yeah.
Y'all give me a date. Y'all give me a time. Link up with Unity Community. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
So,
Yep. I'm just,
go
I'm
ahead,
totally
Rufus.
with
I'm
that.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just saying I'm totally with it. I think that's something that needs to happen, just to show that we can come together as a unit, as different units, and just have fun, man, and do something positive and have a good time. Because everybody in Savannah has some amazing talent.
Yes.
On the music, and it's some amazing talent, man. Like you could spend $600 to go see, some big name artists and stuff for a nosebleed seat. But then, man, you got some bands down here, man, that'll give you a show for free. And
Right.
I mean, it's breathtaking for real, man. Showmanship, execution, efficiency on the songs, all that stuff like that is dope. Great quality singing. We have all that here, and I just think that, true, we can put our egos to the side and see something like that come to life where we do it annually. You know what I mean? And it who knows, man? It may stop a lot of violence in this city too.
Right.
It could do something, man, where we can have that effect. We can make that change. You know what I mean? That's what music is supposed to do.
Absolutely. Well, Rufus, I appreciate you coming on here, man. We've gone over time on the time slot, but I appreciate you coming on here, man. We definitely got to. Hey, are you coming to the party Saturday?
Yes, man. I'm gonna be there, man. I'm
come
turning
on.
up for Jay's music birthday party.
Man, come on through, bro. Saturday at Eli, man. Come through with your boy. Quadro Angelico will be in the building, brother. He might preach too.
Oh, no,
Shut up,
wait a
dummy.
minute now. My P's on.
Now we will definitely be in contact soon. We're gonna see what we can put together to make some things happen and put some unity together on the river.
Yeah, man. I'm down, man. Let's make it happen.
All right, we appreciate you coming on the show, man. Tune in. Make sure you tell everybody the Sean Brown Show with JP is where it's at Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro.
All right. Yeah.
Folks, you've been listening to the Sean Brown Show on WQTS. This is the broadcast from the East Coast to the West Coast, from North Dakota all the way down to the southern tip of Texas, where there's no wall. It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Happy birthday to our good friend JP, co-host of the show. Happy early birthday. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you
safe.
very much, sir.
Still go to church on Sunday. Everybody goes on Easter Sunday. You don't skip church on Easter, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, you don't skip school either. Anyway.
But y'all have a great weekend. We will see you guys on Monday
I'll
here
be
on the
36
show.
next time I talk to y'all.
He'll have more gray hairs, and we are out.
Hey, wait a minute.
Peace,
I ain't
love,
got
chick
no
grease.
Don't come for me in my gray hair.
Listen, SB with the truth, it might piss your mind. And JP hit you with reality all the time. The way to keep it all the way 100, it should be a crime. Sports, news, politics, on the show you will find. Conversation grown, opinions they not alone. Savannah be the home, they coming straight for your dome. It is what it is, gonna be what it's gonna be. You are rocking with the Sean Brown Show with JP.